Horror Horde. This is your boy Horror Gamer, back with another video for you. And I bet you guys are like, Horror Gamer, why did you change your mask? Well, see, here's the thing. This mask is cool and all. This mask is cool, but it's not Horror Gamer. I'll wear it here and there, but Horror Gamer was this right here. This is Horror Gamer. Skull mask, glasses, because I'm blind as a bat, slick back hat. That's Horror Gamer. So, hopefully from here on out it's going to be, I did order some new of these, so it's going to be different colors, so look out for that. But yeah, I think I'm going to go back to the original Horror Gamer mask, which is this bad boy right here, and other colors. So, now that that's out of the way, today's video is a movie review for you. And this is a little different because this movie is a throwback movie, all the way back to 1994. This movie came out, and it was one of those lost gems that throughout the years it just got lost. But I watched it last night on Shudder, which is a streaming service from AMC. Has a streaming service called Shudder. If you don't have it, check that shit out. If you're a horror fan like your boy Horror Gamer, it's definitely worth $4.99 a month. Definitely check it out. And I know you guys are like, well, what movie is it, Horror Gamer? Well, the movie I'm going to be reviewing today is, boom, Tammy and the T-Rex. Alright, so before I get into this review, y'all know your boy Horror Gamer's reviews have spoilers in it all day, every day. So, if you haven't yet seen it, pause this video, go watch it, come back, and let me know what you think. And, yeah, so I'm going to give you a second. Alright, from here on out, spoilers all day, every day. So this movie right here was fucking beautiful, man. This movie was cheesy, it was funny, it had gore, it had your typical 90s effects, and you can tell they tried hard to make this movie, but it was that good cheese. It wasn't that stupid cheesiness. It was that good cheese that, you know what I mean, which gave this movie character. Okay, so as I said, it was released in 1994. It was directed by Stuart Raffle. And basically the plot of this story is girl's boyfriend gets killed, and this mad scientist or whatever takes his brain and puts it into a mechanical T-Rex or mechanical dinosaur. And so his brain subconscious comes back, and he's living through this dinosaur, animatronic dinosaur, but he still knows who he is, and he's trying to let everybody know, you know what I mean? He's trying to get people to know, and at the same time, he's killing the people who basically killed him. So, it stars Denise Richards. If you don't know her, she's one of the hotties in Wild Things. Believe it or not, fucking Paul Walker's in this movie. Yeah, that same Paul Walker, Fast and the Furious Paul Walker. And he was a baby in this movie. I'm talking about, he looked like he had to have been 16. I mean, he was young. And it was good because he played a high school student in this one. And it also had Terry Kaiser, and if you don't remember him, he's Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. So, yeah, it has a pretty good cast, and it has a couple notable cameos, too. It has Sean Whalen. He was the weird guy from People Under the Stairs who got his tongue cut out. He played Weasel in this. George Beck Flowers, he played Officer Norval, and if you don't know him, he's in the movie The Wishmaster. He plays the bum in the streets. He did pretty good in that. He also played in Pumpkinhead. John Franklin, which, if you're a horror fan and you don't know who John Franklin is, shame on you. John Franklin played in Children of the Corn, and he was Isaac. So that's where you know John Franklin from. He plays Bobby the scientist in this one. Just a little cameo part. He's pretty good in it. He doesn't last long. And then we also have Efren Ramirez. And if the name doesn't ring a bell to you, he's Pedro in Napoleon Dynamite. So yeah, and he plays a pizza delivery boy. He's only in it for like 20 seconds, if that. And as I said, it stars Denise Richards. He plays the lead role of Tammy. Paul Walker plays her boyfriend Michael, and Terry Kaiser plays the mad scientist Dr. Williamstein. Yeah, Wachenstein. Okay. So basically, the story is, it's almost like a Frankenstein story in the fact that Dr. Wachenstein has built this animatronic dinosaur. And right now, Bobby is the only one who can work it because it's connected to computers. But Dr. Wachenstein wants it to have its own subconscious, so he needs a brain. Okay? So he's building this dinosaur. He's built this dinosaur, and he's looking for the right brain. Now, here's where Tammy and Michael come in. So Tammy, she's a cheerleader. She's your, typical hottie, and she's pretty good looking in this movie too. She's just starting to go out with Michael, and she has this ex-boyfriend, Billy, who's a real doucher, who I guess abuses her and everything. And he doesn't want her to see nobody, but they're technically not together. So, but she's his woman, so he don't like nobody seeing her. And so of course, Paul Walker's character Michael, he's sucked in this fucking love triangle that, I mean, you can tell he kind of doesn't want to be in, but he's not intimidated by Billy and his group, which Weasel is a part of. And so he stands up to Billy, and they get into a fight on the school grounds early in the movie. I'm talking about the first 10 minutes. These two are throwing punches, and then they grab each other by the wiener. It's just your typical 90s. So Billy grabs Michael by the wiener, which Michael's a football player, okay? So there's a reason why I said that. So he grabs him by the wiener, okay? And then Michael grabs Billy by the wiener. And they're twisted and turning and everything. And then the cops come, and freaking Officer Neville tries to break it up, and they're not letting go. And he's the comedic, he's one of the comedic like geniuses in the movie. He's like, they're having a good old-fashioned dick twist, and it's just hilarious. And then finally, they end up letting go, and come to find out that Michael, Paul Walker, was wearing a cup. And so it didn't hurt him, but Billy's over there grabbing his shit because Michael just grabbed his wiener and twisted. And so they end up breaking him up or whatever. And then later in the day, Denise Richards' character, Tammy, she runs away from Michael and she goes home. Well, later that night, she calls Michael and tells him to come over. She needs him. She, wants him there. So Michael heads over, and as she's climbing up the ladder to get into her room because she don't want her parents seeing or whatever, two of Billy's gang members see him going into the room, and so they get a hold of Billy. So Billy and his gang drive up, and basically they beat the shit out of Michael, and then they take him to the zoo or some animal sanctuary where they live, and they drop him off, and he gets attacked by a lion. So he's laying in the hospital bed in the ICU with his drunk uncle, because his drunk uncle is like, that's what he is. He's just a drunk uncle who's in the movie for a couple seconds. And Tammy's there with her friend, and they're crying or whatever. And then in comes Dr. Wachenstein, who decides, who pays off the doctor to let him get Michael's body, or get Michael and use his brain. Well, they trick Tammy into thinking Michael's dead, and Michael really isn't dead. He's just fucked up. And then so they said they're going to take him to the morgue, and they take him out to his car. Well, as they're doing this, Michael wakes up, and then fucking Dr. Wachenstein's sidekick punches him in the face and knocks him out. Okay, so they get him to the laboratory where the mechanical dinosaur is, and he wakes up again. And here is the fucking anesthesia, okay? So he's laying there. Dr. Wachenstein starts cutting his head with a scalpel, and he wakes up. oh, what's going on? This is how great the 90s acting was, you know what I mean? This is the pinnacle of it. So he wakes up, he's like, whoa, what's going on? Helga, which is Dr. Watzenstein's sidekick, punches him in the face again. And I mean, this bitch must have a punch, because it knocked him out to the point that Dr. Watzenstein was able to grab a saw and fucking saw his skull off. So, I mean, she must have morphine in them fists, boy, because she rocked his ass. So, Dr. Watzenstein removes Michael's brain and puts it into the mechanical dinosaur. Okay? And then he goes off to celebrate with his, girl, whatever she is to him. And Bobby, which is John Franklin's character, is like kind of jealous because he thinks he's the only one who can make this thing work, like make the dinosaur work, like the brain isn't going to work. Well, Michael's brain ends up taking to this dinosaur, and then boom, it's basically your Frankenstein. So he comes alive, he kills Bobby, bites his head off, kills him, and then there's like this big muscular henchman there. He tramples over him and squashes him like a bug. And then he escapes this laboratory or whatever, and then he goes to this party that they're having, and Billy's there, and so is Tammy, but Tammy ends up leaving so she doesn't see Michael, the dinosaur, and come to this party, and he just causes chaos. I mean, he bites Billy's head off, he fucking kills all the he basically destroys all of Billy's gang. Two guys were trying to hide underneath under a car, and he got up on the car and jumped on it, and it fucking squished their fucking eye juices out and everything. Excuse me. He bit one girl's leg off. I mean, he just went ham. But then he ran into Tammy's friend, and he liked him, so he picked him up, went like that on his shoulder, and set him on his way. So after the party, the cops are there, and they're looking for this dinosaur now. So after the party, Michael actually goes to Tammy's house and basically abducts her, if you will, and takes her to this barn. And she wakes up and she's like, oh, don't kill me. And then he's fucking sitting there playing Pictionary with her to try to get her to understand that it's him. And like I said, some of the shit they do in this movie for him to try to get his point across is hilarious. Like, there's a part of the movie where he actually picks up the phone and he dials her number. Like, he can't talk, so everything that comes out of his mouth is like a roar. So he's sitting there doing the Pictionary, and she's like, and then she finally, like, a light turns on. She's like, oh, Michael, that's you? And then, as this is going on, Dr. Watzenstein is looking for them because he wants his Frankenstein back, basically. And so they're being chased, and then the cops get involved, and so they end up abducting Watzenstein because they're going to have him implant his brain into his body. So they go to the funeral, to Michael's funeral, and they want to go get the body after everybody leaves. So they jump in to get the body, and when they open it, this is 90s, like 90s gore at its best. When they open it, even though it seemed like he was only dead for a couple days, when they opened it, he was heavily decaying. He had fucking worms and all that kind of shit coming out of his skull. And yeah, it was only dead a couple days though, so I don't get how that kind of decay happened. But hey, it was the 90s, so what? It's good. It didn't take away from the movie. And then after they realized that his body was decayed too bad, they had to go to the morgue and try to get him to choose another body, if you will. So they're sitting there holding bodies up in the window, and he's saying no. And then the cops come and they start running, and they end up hiding in the barn that he took her to the first night. And her friend comes to bring him food, and their friend is the sheriff's son. So the sheriff has, his deputies and stuff follow him out, and then after they find out where they are, they get the National Guard and everything. And this is the big climactic ending here, where it's basically a Mexican standoff between the dinosaur, the mechanical dinosaur, and the police. So what's gonna happen? So Dr. Watchenstein comes in, and he's like, I can just, I can sedate it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, go ahead. It's going to take less than a minute. Go ahead. So he goes in there. He's getting ready to sedate the mechanical Tyrannosaurus Rex. I don't know how you do that. And he goes in, and Michael comes up from behind the corner and fucking bites him in his torso. And rips his torso out and kills him. And then Tammy runs out. Well, Tammy's already out there. They hear him screaming. And then he comes out and starts roaring. And then the police open fire. They kill the Tyrannosaurus Rex. They kill the animatronic T-Rex. They kill Michael. So they're sitting there crying. Everybody, for some reason, is crying now that they murdered the shit out of this dinosaur. They're crying, and then they switch. I don't know if it's a couple days later, a couple weeks later, whatever. She parks. She's all happy. And she goes up to her room, and she has Michael's brain on her desk, with electrodes, like wires in it to send electrodes and stuff to it, and a camera and a microphone. And Michael, his subconscious, is talking to her through this microphone, and she's sitting here doing this slutty dance and, taking clothes off, and it's like he's getting horny, and like he busts his nut at the end because like his brain get hot and smokes and you see flames and stuff. And he's like, oh, baby, you got to get me a body. I can't do this no more. And then they cut it. So basically, they just had sex and all he was doing was dancing. This movie, like I said, the cheese was real, but the cheese was good. One scene where she's riding him off into the sunset, that was pretty funny. And then, like I said, Efren Ramirez, he was in it for like 20 seconds. He was the pizza delivery boy who delivered pizza to the mad scientist lair or whatever. And he didn't die or nothing. He just ran out and took off. But Tammy and the T-Rex was one of them lost gems where it disappeared forever and it just remanifested on Shudder. And it was a hard PG-13 when it was first released. But on Shudder, you actually get the unrated version, so you get to see the heads being ripped off, the blood, the gore, all the fun stuff. So definitely, if you haven't seen this movie, check it out. It's definitely worth the watch. If you want a good laugh, if you just want a good, wholesome family horror movie, you don't want to watch this. But if you want just goofiness and just funniness, check it out. It's called Tammy and the T-Rex. Get Shudder if you don't already have it. Sit back, enjoy. Definitely worth the runtime of like an hour and a half. So, it's an hour and a half of your life that you'll be glad that you used on this. So, with all that being said, Horror Horde, this has been your boy Horror Gamer saying I love you guys. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the movie review. It was fun. It was fun to do because it was a fun movie to watch. And you're actually going to get 2 uploads today. 2, because my next upload is going to be the Horror Man's Slashback Challenge. Slashback Saturday Challenge. And I'm going to do a pretty good movie there. It won't be as long. It's going to be a quick one, but it's going to be a good one. So, with all that being said, Horror Horde, this has been your boy Horror Gamer saying, as always, I love you. Thank you. Go watch Tammy and the T-Rex. Great movie. And until next time, it's been boy Horror Gamer saying, as always, don't fear the darkness. Embrace it.